Stu here with Raid Shadow Legends to go over all the new champions in the Battle Pass that we will get with 1.16. So they're really good about giving us new content, or at least new updates every month. And they've been sticking to that, and I believe they will stick to that. Since we get an update every month, we will see new content. We're going to see the Scorching Sands Arena within a day from now. We'll have to see how that plays out as far as new content for 1.15. But in 1.16, I'm certain we're going to see some new content, and we're going to have the new Battle Pass. The first Battle Pass we had Gravekill, Frozen Banshee, Stag Knight, Whirl'em. We also had Coffin Smasher. We had a lot of really good champions, and the value for the Battle Pass was insane. Probably the best value I've ever seen for this game, because we know we don't have really good, a lot of times there aren't good packs in here. It's a very expensive game if you're going to spend on it, we know. So these Battle Passes are a great value. Above me you see where you do your weekly and your dailies. This is the old picture of the old Battle Pass, but if you want to spend that little bit of money, get the Battle Pass. Believe me, it is the best thing. And after you see Infernal Golem and then Euros the Soul Cage, I really think you're going to want to. These two champions right there are some of the favorite champions that I've seen in a while. They're going to be a lot of fun. We'll start off with this Exiled Sorcerer. Plus, I want to tell you too, Panda Killer is the one that had all this information out. If you've seen anybody else do a video on this information, it is from Panda Killer. So I'll leave a link to his YouTube down below. He only has one video on there, but he's actually playing the game. He's in the game looking at these champions, talking about the champions. He does go over one more champion at the very end that is not going to be part of this Battle Pass. It's a champion that I've already gone over, that I have all their abilities for. You can see it in one of my videos maybe a week ago with like leaked images of champions. She's the one with the cool wings. She looks like Nice Revenant, but she's not going to be part of this, so we don't need to worry about her. These are going to be the Battle Pass champions. We've seen confirmation of that, so don't worry. It's going to be good. These two champions, I think, are going to be well worth paying the price it is to get this Battle Pass and to give you things to do monthly and daily. It's a lot of fun. It gives you things to do. I also want to give a shout out to Box. He's the one that put this A1, this A2. He actually cut all these images out, sent them to me on Discord. I took them off of Discord and I put them in a collage so that we can look at it this way. But Box, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's get into this. Exiled Sorcerer. So this rare here, you can see his stats. I'm not going to read over all of them. You can look at the HP, attack, defense, speed here. We'll get right into it. So he attacks one enemy 2 times, has a 45% chance to place the lesser of the decreased defense, the 30%. He is a rare, keep in mind, for 2 turns. On his A1, still pretty good. Still pretty good for rare. His A2 attacks all enemies and then has a 75% chance to place the 15% decreased speed debuff and the 15% weaken debuff on a 3-turn cooldown. That's great. An AoE on a 3-turn cooldown, I love it. An A1 that can decrease defense, good. It's not the big one. I don't think this guy's going to get a lot of play because of this A3 too. A 3-turn cooldown to 100% chance to apply decreased crit and decreased critical damage. It's only 15% decreased crit, only 15% decreased critical damage. If you're using this in arena, it's not doing any damage, right? If you're using it in PvE, again, it's not doing any damage. It's taking a turn. It's on a 3-turn cooldown. I don't think the benefit of those two outweigh me wanting to do another A1 or this A2 AoE. So it's a rare though, because there's, obviously there's a lot of rares in the games that don't get played. I don't see this guy being played a lot, but maybe, you never know. Let's get on to the next one. I want to get on to the fun stuff. The Wandering Priest here. Here's the Wandering Priest. Put him in full size. You can see his HP as well. Good HP, good defense, good speed actually on this guy. I like it. So this guy removes on his A1, attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 45% chance to place decreased attack, 25% decreased attack. I actually don't mind 25% decreased attack. It does make a big difference. If you get this up on a boss, the dragon, the ice golem, or anything else, it can save you. It really can save you. But I don't know where we're going to use this. Let's see what the rest of his abilities are. So a 3-turn cooldown on his A2, removes all debuffs from the target ally, heals that ally by 30% of their max HP, and places Veil on them on a 3-turn cooldown. Not that bad. So we're going to get a heal. We're going to remove all debuffs, and they're going to put Veil on there. So with Veil, they can't be targeted, and if they are hit with an AoE, they take less damage. And then his A3 here on a 3-turn cooldown as well, places the 15% strengthened buff and 25% increased accuracy buff on all allies for 2 turns. The 50% strengthen means that you take 15% less damage on a 3-turn cooldown. That's pretty good. Now, if you have the larger version of strengthen, they're both not going to stack up. They will not stack up. Nothing in this game that we have the lower and the larger one stacks up, so don't worry, except for poison. We see those on there, but something like this will not stack up, I'm sure. Pretty sure it won't. but not bad for a rare here to get decreased attack, to give us strengthen, and then also heal somebody. Probably still, again, not going to get a lot of play. So let's get into the good ones. We have Archmage here. Here is total stats. He's got a lot of HP, a lot of defense, a lot of speed. So he's supposed to look like an arena champion, right? We've got an A1 here that fills his turn meter by 10%, fills the turn meter by 20% if you get a critical hit on his A1. Here, attacks one enemy. Also, I think he has a speed increase for arena there. It's a speed increase for arena on his aura, or just a speed increase overall. Pretty sure it's 19% for arena. Also, his A2 attacks one enemy, and then also attacks all enemies if the first attack is critical. Each hit has a 75% chance to place a stun debuff for 1 turn after attacking. So 75% chance to stun everybody out there on a 3-turn cooldown, and then if you don't stun them, after attacking, decrease the turn meter of each enemy without a stun by 20%. It's pretty good. That's not bad at all. He is an epic. So then on his A3, he places increased speed, 30%. 30% increased crit, 30% increased critical damage buff on all allies for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. And then he has a passive that is immune to turn meter decrease effects. So not bad. A good epic to use in arena and to go through anything with Seer, I feel like. Those are 3 buffs. We only get 3 other buffs from Mausoleum Mage in an epic category. We have other champions where we can get more from. But with this guy, if I bring him into PvE content and I attack one enemy and then I attack all enemies if it crits, I get a chance to stun everyone on a 3-turn cooldown. Then I'm buffing up my people like crazy, where Seer will eat all these buffs and destroy a wave. If I put him in shield artifacts, that's 4 buffs on everybody each wave when he casts this, along with the shield artifacts, right? The shield artifacts puts a shield buff on everyone. Then on top of that, we attack one enemy and he's getting turn meter. He's getting turn meter. If it crits, he's getting 20% turn meter, and he's already fast. He's got great stats. I think he's going to be good. I think this guy's going to be really good, even for progression going through waves. Going through waves, he's going to lock him up. He's going to lock him up like crazy. He's going to give you tons of buffs, increase your speed, increase your crit, increase your critical damage, and then speed himself up so he can keep going through the cycle of doing this. It's going to be a good champion. And it'll be fun in arena as well. If you can make him fast enough. Yes, decreased turn meter, he can't be affected by it. So something like Valkyrie that could push you down when you get a turn meter increase. She won't push this guy down. Somebody like Warlord, who's going to, can push your turn meter down all the way and set your skills on cooldown, will at least not push his turn meter down, right? And then anybody else, Lysandra too. But I don't think it's going to affect it that much. If Lysandra hits your whole team, she's buffing her whole team anyways and giving them increase with Energize, giving them a turn meter increase. I don't know if this guy will save you or not, but he's going to be fun to play. He's definitely going to be fun to play. Okay, let's get into what my favorite one here is. The Infernal Golem. Check out this guy. He looks like a little dwarf. He's like a dwarf fire golem. But he is amazing. Look at that HP. Look at that defense, speed here. I don't even care about any of that. Okay, let's get into his skills. Day 1 attacks one enemy with a 70% chance to place the 30% decrease crit rate debuff for 2 turns. So I'm sure we're going to be able to place this on a spider. We'll be able to place this on a boss. So having a boss 30% less likely to crit us is actually pretty good. Not bad at all. He does damage based off of defense. His A2 attacks all enemies, has a 20% chance to place an HP burn on all enemies on a 3-turn cooldown. The chance to apply this debuff is increased by 20% for each alive enemy. That's insane. This guy right here, off of just this skill alone, can get us all through spiders, right? Anything through spiders, as long as we have a way to keep everybody alive. As long as we have a way, we have Apothecary in there, we have this guy in here, we have Armorger to take down the turn meter on the spider boss, and we just keep trucking along, keeping everybody alive. No conditions here. Ultimate Gaelic, right? We need to increase attack on him. He needed like crit. He needs a whole bunch of other things. His AI wasn't even that good really on Ultimate G. This guy is much better. He's going to apply it. Even if we go into waves and there's five enemies that we're fighting against, he's going to try to apply it as long as we don't get resisted. So this will apply on a 3-turn cooldown. We are going to keep burns up non-stop. Okay, let's look at what else he has. That's not it. Attacks all enemies and has a 70% chance of increasing the cooldown of all their skills by 2 turns if they're under HP burn. Now, I hope the AI is right. You really want to make sure the AI is correct, and he's going to do the AoE burn first, and then he'll go do this. Otherwise, we're going to have to complain and moan, and they will change it. They will change it, but you would think out the gate, okay, his A2 is going to go off first, and then he will do his A3, which it should. I'm really hoping that. So that A3 is already amazing in anything you do for waves, for anything else. Obviously, it's not going to affect a boss, but to push back skills, even in arena or in waves, is amazing. And that's not all he has. Also places a shield buff equal to 20% of this champion. Now this champion's max HP on all allies for 2 turns. Obviously it's not going to be as big as a miscreated monster doing that massive damage on all the spiders, getting that huge shield or a Valkyrie shield based off of defense, but this guy again is in the battle pass and he's doing it off of his max HP. So we just load him up on HP. Sure, he does damage based off of defense, but we don't really care about that. We want the burns to take effect, so we can just load him up in HP, get bigger shields. These shields and the addition to push back the skills is on a 4-turn cooldown. And then instantly activate this skill whenever this champion is revived by Elemental Conjurer. That's a different champion we're about to go over next. So not a big deal on that one. And then he has a passive as well. Has a 25% chance to place a fear debuff on an enemy for 1 turn whenever they receive damage from an HP burn. That's crazy. On an enemy for 1 turn, you get a chance to apply this. Now, HP burn hits everybody, right? When an HP burn activates, it hits everybody out there and does damage like 3% of their max HP. So will that mean that whenever anybody gets applied damage from an HP burn, and that would be everybody, all you have to do is have 1 HP burn on somebody and everybody gets burned. So does that mean that it's the original target, or will everybody have a chance? Because if you put this all out there on the spiderlings, they can be feared. They can be feared and miss their turn. They can. If you do this on waves, and you get the burn up and they take a turn and everybody takes damage, they can be feared. 25% chance to place a fear up on them. That's crazy. This guy is insane. I love this guy. I cannot wait to play this guy. I really cannot. He's got a lot going for him. So much going for him. Let's look at Elemental Conjurer. This one I'm not a big fan of. And Euros, the Soul Cage, I am. The last one I'm a big fan of. So here are Elemental Conjurer's total stats. You can see the HP, attack, defense. Everything is great on there. A1, attacks 1 enemy, has a 75% chance of placing a block buffs debuff for 2 turns. That's on his A1. That's a pretty good skill. That's pretty solid. A2, this one has a 100% chance to remove all buffs from all enemies, and also a 100% chance to place a weaken debuff on all enemies for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. No damage whatsoever, but you're removing all the buffs out there. You're applying a weaken, and that's it on a 3-turn cooldown. So pretty strong. Pretty strong depending on what you're doing, right? Otherwise, you might not need this. You might not need this ability. You might just want the weaken to come up. And then on his A3, he has revived he revives an ally with 50% HP, 50% turn meter, and then places a block debuff buff on them for 2 turns. You will also revive Infernal Golem and Euros the Soul Cage with 30% HP and 30% turn meter, even if they're not the target of your revive. So you could revive somebody else, and then he will still revive these other guys. So all in all, this champion looks solid. He looks fun to play with these Infernals, but I'm not a big fan of his kit unless you specifically need a removal of buffs, and you want to apply weaken. You want to get the weaken up to do additional damage, or block buffs up here, and you want to revive. Like if you have people dying, you want to revive them, you can bring them in here. Okay, let's get on. Let's get on to the big dog here, the legendary that we're gonna get from the battle pass, and see what he's all about. He's got so many things going for him. This guy's insane, and I think this guy's going to carry you through everything. This elemental, along with this the Inferno Golem, together are going to be crazy. So right here you can see his HP. His HP is high. He deals damage based off of HP. He's got good defense as well. Speed is fine. So on his A1, he's going to attack 1 enemy and place a shield buff on himself equal to 10% of his max HP. The shield value is increased by 1% for each poison debuff on the target. So right away, he's doing damage based off of HP. We get him with max HP. He's getting shields on himself on his A1 to keep him alive. A2 attacks all enemies and has a 100% chance to decrease the turn meter by 15% if the enemy is under 1 poison debuff. He has a 100% chance to apply a decreased speed debuff of 30% if they are under 2 or more poisons. He will also stun anybody out there for 1 turn if the enemy is under 3 or more poison debuffs. Now, these don't say a poison's applied by him, so they can't be by anybody. You could have Richtof come out there. You could have anybody else who applies a lot of poisons. Apply those poisons. Taurus, we could use Taurus as well. Apply those poisons, and then when he attacks with this, he's going to be able to stun people at a 100% chance if you brought Taurus out there, another epic, and applied all those poisons. And then do everything else that he's going to do here. Pretty crazy. Instantly activate this ability if this champion is revived by the Elemental Conjurer. So the Elemental Conjurer reviving these guys, both of them, might be kind of like a surprise wow kind of moment. So it will be pretty neat. And then that's all based off of HP. Attacks all enemies on a 3-turn cooldown. This is pretty cool that it's on a 3-turn cooldown. I'm sure it's going to hit pretty hard. His A3 places a 25% strengthen buff on all allies for 2 turns and a 50% ally protect on all allies except for him for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. That's insane. All the stuff this guy does is pretty crazy, but if he's going to give a strengthen, you're going to all take 25% less damage. Your whole team. Everybody's going to have strengthen to all take 25% less. And then on top of that, he's going to place ally protect where he's taking 50% of the damage that they receive. That's crazy. On a for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. This guy's going to be able to carry us through everything in the game. He's going to be able to protect himself with shields. And then if you have poisons up, he's going to be able to do crazy stuff on a 3-turn cooldown with poisons. So let's look at his passive. His passive is the one that we apply the poisons from. So when attacked, he has a 75% chance to place a poison debuff on the attacker for 2 turns. So we could have him in the clan boss. We could have him in anything. And then when he's attacked, he gets to place the poison, right? Whenever an ally is attacked while under strengthen buff, you have a 75% chance to place a provoke debuff on the attacker for 1 turn. Now these things, they sound pretty strong for arena as well. If you can get this off and use this in arena and not just get blown away right away in arena, it sounds like it'd be a fun time as well. So you're going to provoke people too. So ally protect, strengthen, everybody takes less damage. He gets shields on himself. He does this crazy 3-turn AoE with damage, places all this stuns or decreased speed or poison, and then now if they get attacked and they're under the strengthen debuff that we get, they get a chance to get provoked. Crazy. 75% chance to get provoked. I love it. I love it. Increases champion's max HP by 5% whenever an enemy receives damage from poison debuff placed by this champion. So this one has to be a poison debuff placed actually by this champion. So whenever they take damage from a poison placed by him, he will get an increase 5% max HP increase, which is sweet. And then whenever an enemy receives damage from a poison debuff placed by this champion, you'll also decrease their max HP. That's okay. So it says it cannot be decreased by more than 25%, and it will not increase his max HP by more than 50%. And it will not decrease his boss's max HP. So to me, this champion is amazing. The battle pass is going to be fun. The battle passes are always fun, and again, it's one of the best values we've seen out there. So let's recap. Sorcerer is pretty cool. He's a rare. He's got some, decent things. I don't see a lot of play on the Sorcerer. I don't see a lot of play on this guy. This guy looks like a lot of fun. There are so many things you can do with him. All these stuns on a 3-turn cooldown are amazing. He's going to keep going like the Energizer Bunny, right? More and more turn meter to keep cycling through all this. Give us an increased speed. Give us an increased crit and critical damage. This is going to be fun. This right here is going to be a lot of fun, especially even in PvE, I think. Even though he's more associated with PvP because of this right here, all of this right here, getting through content screams PvE for me. To get through all content and have a lot of fun with it and increase the damage and speed of all your other champions with the A3. Tons of fun. We already looked over this guy. This right here is insane. We're going to have fun with spiders. Everybody is going to be able to do spiders if you get a hold of this battle pass. I can feel it. This guy's going to be so much fun. Everything he can do. Put up shields on everyone. Turn down the, has a chance to lower the cooldown of every enemy that we face for waves. Right here does damage, decrease crit, and then attacks all enemies, places the burn, and then his passive is going to be really insane. We're going to have to see how this passive works. If everybody takes burn damage and they all get a chance to be feared, we're going to see a lot of feared spiders out there. We're going to see a lot of feared waves. It's going to be crazy. So the Infernal Golem along with Eurus the Soul Cage, nuts so. This guy also, if you want to bring him in to revive anybody and then proc whatever their abilities are when they proc, once he revives them, you could do that. Again, removing buffs and putting up weaken and then blocking buffs. Not sure exactly where I would use this one, but he could be fun as well. We can see his max stats, 1,000 attack. So we'll have to see how he works out. He could be great. And this one, we just went over, insane. So that's everything for 1.16 that we're going to get in the Battle Pass 3 to 4 weeks from now. I cannot wait to see it. I hope you all get it. I hope you all enjoy it. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on these champions below. Who are you looking forward to the most? And are you going to get the Battle Pass? Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. I will see you all on a video soon.